Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel Made with Love. My name is Heather, and as I said, today I'm just doing a whole bunch of crafting videos. I'm doing each one separate because there are just multiple different crafts. Today's one that I've wanted to do for about a month now was my Dollar Tree finally brought in the lemon pot holders and oven mitts and the little kitchen towels. So I'm going to be making the one similar to ones I made at Christmas with the pot holders and the tea towels like this. And they even had the matching oven mitt. So I'm gonna make two sets because the pot holders actually came in packs of 2. And then so I bought 2 of the towels and 2 of the little oven mitts. Just dropping everything off my table. So first I'm going to start with just getting all the tags snipped off and the tea towels all lined up, ready to get stitched. I'm just going to move the camera down. I'm just going to do this first because my sewing machine is not plugged in and it's behind me and I'm going to have to move stuff around. So I might as well just start with this part first. I'm going to take the tags off. All these. So once I get these ready to stitch, it takes no time for me to get these all stitched. So I'm just going to do both these at the same time. And I can stitch them back to back, and it's just so easy to do. I've made quite a few of these. I think I made it like 10 at Christmas, I believe it was. And they took me like no time to stitch. If you can sew a straight line, you can make these. I don't do a lot of sewing. Oops. It's my laptop doing stuff. Like I said, while I'm doing this, I'm getting caught up on other things I've been working on. Oops, it's still attached. Okay. Gotta figure out how wide the pot holder is for the tea towel. Just fold this into here, fold this to there, so it's about to there. You're kind of basically just folding the tea towel into thirds. I can do that better. I'm going to fold it in half. Just as I said, these are from the dollar store. They're not perfectly straight. They're not even. It's really hard to do any measurements. I can't really give measurements because I have 2 here and I can tell the way these are lining up that they are just not stitched evenly. So just try to fold it into thirds the best you can, and that should be about this right. Like if you lay this down on top, it should be about the right width. You're folding this in half, so it should be about the right width. So you can stitch this on, stitch these 2 together. Gotta take these extra labels off. You don't have to. I've seen some people leave them on if they give them out as gifts, but I find it's just easier when I'm trying to stitch. It's one less thing, because if you stitch that into your work, it just, doesn't look so nice sometimes. Just making sure that I got that's about where I need it to be. I'm just gonna fold this like this, just to get my lines all even. 1 second. Oh, sorry, my kid's just calling me. Okay, so I've got this. I'm just kind of folded that so I'd get a nice line to where they're going to be. And I realized that, I've got this way, but I need to have this on this side here. Oops. And just want to make sure I get these lined up right. I've done this where I've actually pinned it and stitched it backwards, so I just want to make sure I've got it right. This to be onto here. Yeah, so you stitch right side to right side. Just sometimes I can't figure out which way I'm supposed to stitch until I actually kind of like just hold it together. I'm like, oh wait, that's backwards. Okay, I'm just gonna grab my pins. I had them a little bit ago. They were sitting right here. Shoot. There they are. Just buried under more stuff. So I'm just going to pin this together. Just want to pin it like that just to make sure that I've got it right. So when I lift it up, yeah, that's right. My hands are covered in glue and everything and paint and everything. Like I said, I'm just trying to get caught up on all my crafting ideas I want to get done. Okay, so I'm just going to set this one aside because it's ready to stitch. And I'm going to just lay out the next one. And I haven't decided which color of buttons I'm going to use on these. I can use yellow, green, white. I'll have to go through my buttons and see what colors I have left. Okay, so again, just taking the tea towel and I'm just going to fold it into thirds. So just up a third and then the bottom part go. Fold the top part down a third and then fold the bottom part up a third as close as you can. As I said, these are not very even. They're just from the dollar store. I've even found even expensive tea towels sometimes aren't lined up properly either. You can buy a set of things and something will always be a little crooked or a little off. Just making sure. No, I don't quite have it in a third yet. It's, like I said, it's a little tricky because I've got this actually folded more than a third. We're actually overlapping now, and oops, still have to overlap that just a little more for whatever reason. Like I said, just take your time lining it up so you get them lined up so they look good. So that will be the center. I'm just gonna slip this under like that. Just trying to make sure on the top that I've got it right. Yep. I'm just gonna flip it over like this. Just making sure it's still even. So I'm just gonna fold this to make sure that it's all even. Yep. That looks all pretty even to me. So I'm just gonna pin this together right there. I'm not really doing pinning properly. I know if you want to pin, you should pin, you know, the direction that you're stitching, but I'm just pinning in two places just to hold it all together. Just so once get the machine foot pedal on there and you just, it's one straight line. I don't think you need a lot of pins. I mean, I've seen people use those clips. I'd like to get some of those clips. That might be easier. Like they look like clothespin things. That's what they kind of look like. So I'd like to try to get some of those. But I'm not going to spend a lot of money on things that I know I don't do a lot of sewing. Okay, so I've got this pin, I've got this one pinned, ready to sew. Oops. I'm just gonna set this here. I'm just gonna double check that it's all right. Okay, I'll be right back because I just gotta plug my sewing machine in. Okay, just gonna see it totally. Is that recording? I can't see. Yes, it is. Okay, sorry. You can see a totally different angle of my craft room. Right now, I'm just trying to move this stuff around. So I've got my sewing machine set up. I'm gonna set this one aside. So just a basic sewing machine. I'm just trying to figure out. You can see. Let's move to here. Okay. I don't do a lot of sewing. Make sure it's still threaded. It is, yes. I'm just gonna put this up here. Just gonna and somewhere along the line my thread snapped. Somewhere. Okay. Snapped right at the beginning. Okay, I gotta rethread my sewing machine. I'll be right back. Okay, let's try that again. I'm just gonna put this back, the foot back down. Oops. Yeah, now I think I got this one. Okay. I'm gonna have to repin that one because now it's crooked because I'm just gonna do this one then. Oops, things wrong with this one too. Ugh. Just gonna put another pin in the center of this one because it's coming. Can't pin. Okay, I'll be right back. I just gotta get some more pins put in here. Okay, let's try this again. I'm just gonna get this all lined up with the sewing machine. Just gonna put this. This one's not working. I don't know. It just does not want to move. I don't know what's happening with my sewing machine today. I'll be right back. I gotta re-thread the bobbin, I guess. Okay, let's try this once more. Just gonna get my tea towel and pot holder back under the sewing machine. Put this down. A little slower. because I don't have my little pin cushion. I don't know where I put it. Okay, and then here's the second one. Okay, here they are. Right now they're still kind of stuck together. So I'm just do a quick little snip here and a snip there. And let's loose thread here. And there's the one. And lift this one up. Oops, I just dropped some pins. There's the second one. Now all I have left to do is to add the buttons. So I'm just going to grab my jar of buttons and figure out what colors, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got my jar of green buttons. I'm just going to dump them out. Don't need the little baby ones, I just need the larger ones. See, I don't think the yellow's not quite right. I want the green. I need something, you know, a button that's, because it's got a pretty good size loop on there. So it looks like I've got this one and this one. I thought I had another, got this bluey green one here. I thought I had some that were just loose on the table here. And there was some that were just loose on the table. Oops. I don't see them now, so I don't know where they went. I don't have a lot of space in my craft room. If you really want to know, between my table and my sewing machine, all I have is the one chair, and I just flipped it around. So my space I have right here is really small. It's gonna bug me because I know I had some buttons because they were. I've got some more packs of buttons. Let's see. They're all blue. Nothing in green. Oh, see, that's just the blue. I thought I had some loose buttons sitting here. Oh, yes, there's a loose green button. There. I'll use those ones. I thought I had one because had to set them aside because I had a bunch of these that I was going to make. I was going to make the Easter ones, which I ran out of time. So I'll just save them for next Easter. Okay, so to sew these on, I am going to be using my embroidery thread, which is across the table here. I just dropped beads. I just dropped a whole tin of beads down. Okay, so I've got my nice little shoebox full of just emery floss. There is some regular thread in here too. I'll take the regular thread out because I don't know why the regular thread is in here. Shouldn't be. Oops, there's my needle. I'll need that for this. It's all tangled. I do have to clean my craft room. Gotta get better organized. I thought I was organized to do these videos, but yes, I guess it's a kind of a yes and no. I mean, I knew which ones, I knew what crafts I was going to be making today, but I guess I wasn't fully organized. I don't have a lot of space. Like I said, I took bookshelves out because I didn't have enough room for all my crafting stuff. So I took a lot of my crafting supplies back downstairs. Okay. I'm just going to use the embroidery floss here. And I got a nice big needle. And I still can't see to line this up sometimes. So I'm just gonna figure out where the button will go. Just gonna move this one out of the way so I don't get mixed up on the patterns. I'm just gonna move my camera so you can see a bit better. So I'm just got this folded. So this is the loop. It's gonna hook over the button. So the button has to sit right about there. So I kind of know right where the loop is, because I don't want it, don't want the button too high over the edge of this. I'm just gonna, okay, but you don't want it too far down because then the loop can't reach it. So I'm just kind of using like this edge here as my guide of where I want the button to sit, you know, below this edge, not above it. And I also have to see where the pattern would be. So I can kind of use, like, I can see the yellow through the buttonhole, so I'm kind of using that as my guide as to where the button kind of needs to sit. Because I don't want to have to, you know, the buttonholes, I don't want to have to go through this part. I want the stitching through the holes all down in the pattern part. Okay, so I think right there. I'm just gonna start stitching. Just did a quick thing. I'm just going to test to make sure that's the right spot. And yep, that's a good spot. It will close. I realized that I started stitching from the top down instead of the bottom up. So I'm going to be undoing it. If I can. Got distracted with what I'm doing, and I'm stitching the wrong way. So now I gotta undo all my thread. At least I only did like an X. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna stitch the buttons on, and when I get them stitched on, I'll be right back. Okay, I've got the buttons sewed on both of them. There, and I've got the matching oven mitts. I'm just gonna put the price tag off. So when I have these hanging up on the stove, I always use the button and the hook on the oven mitt to hang them together, so the set hangs off the oven like that. So there's the one. And this is the second one. Do the same thing. They don't take long to make, just a you can stitch a straight line, and if you can sew on a button, you can make these. Like I said, at Christmas I made about 10 of them. Now I've just made 2 for summer, I guess. Spring, summer with the lemons. Now this one, I said it's a little crooked because the tea towels were, you know, dollar store. It's not a big deal. When they're hanging up over the oven, you know, like this, if I can show this. When they're hanging up on the oven, it's gonna look crooked and uneven because they're over the towel bar. Because it kind of hang from here. But, you know, nobody's gonna notice really that it's a little, this one's a little more crooked than any ones I've made, but this is the one I was having trouble pinning, and with the sewing machine thread kept breaking on me. So this one was the one that was half pinned, and then I had to reshuffle repin it and put it right back through the sewing machine because the thread snapped. So that one's, you know, it's okay. This one's pretty good. It's pretty even. I mean, if you turn to the back, you can see how, you know, like where the tea towel is and where the pot holder is. You're going to have a little overlap because it's kind of hard to fold these perfectly. I said, even if you fold the tea towels in half, they're not, no, they're not quite the same size all the way around. But that's the 2 I made. So I just want to say to everybody, hey, thank you for watching my YouTube channel. Thank you for subscribing, and I will see you in my next video. Okay, bye.